Hello, friends. Today I'm sharing the 6 things that I feel super ashamed about after being in business for 12 years. That's right, it's confession time, and I'm going to roll back the curtain on all of the things that I've done that have been detrimental to my business so that you can avoid them. You're welcome. Let's dive in. Okay, mistake number one. And this is all about showing up consistently and being visible because, long story short, in the 12 years I've been in business, I haven't. In fact, for a good portion of my business, I was not visible at all because the whole narrative that I have inside of me around not being good enough was dictating the show. Yes, it was, my friends. And this is your reminder to not let those internal stories that aren't even true dictate your decisions. Essentially, what it's meant is that instead of putting myself out there over the years that have passed, I instead hid, and my business has struggled because of that. The funny thing is that growing a business requires you to put yourself out there to be visible, right? It's not just a nice to have, it's a necessity to success. And because I didn't do it, it means 12 years into my journey, I have a much smaller email list than I could have. I have a much smaller following on socials. We've made less sales because I allowed my fear to dictate my behavior, right? And the funny thing is, as with any fear, it feels so big and so all consuming in your mind, like a big, vast ocean, that when you finally do step and grow beyond your fear and do the thing that you're so scared of, you actually realize it's not a vast ocean at all. It's just a little baby puddle. And so that little baby puddle kept me hostage for so many years in my business. And this is your reminder to not let it hold you hostage as well. Mistake number two, my friends. And I hope you're being kind to me in your thoughts because this one really makes me feel so cringy in so many ways. When I first started this business, I found a mentor that I absolutely loved. I wanted her business. So I jumped on a call with her and she let me know that the investment was like $30,000. Okay, I had like $900 in my bank account, but what can I say? I'm an all in kind of gal. So I found the money and I made the investment. And lo and behold, just a month into my journey with this mentor, I had made $25,000 from the systems and strategies she taught me. My mind was blown. I couldn't believe I'd made that much money in just a month, right? But this is where it gets interesting because I had such a win in that first month. I expected it in the months to follow. But month two, month three, month four rolled around and I made nothing, like zero, right? And of course, it had nothing to do with me. It wasn't because I stopped doing the work or because my stories of not being good enough had popped up and reared their ugly head. No, no, no. It had nothing to do with that. This lack of results was very clearly my mentor's fault. Yes, my friends. I became the nightmare client, right? I was the one who poured all of my trauma over this mentor and basically made every single outcome in my business her fault. How freaking embarrassing. And how crazy was it that I gave my power of making change and taking action in my business over to someone else because I was unwilling to take responsibility. I became a victim, and that meant I couldn't change anything. And so, this really is your reminder to look at where you're playing the victim in business. Whether you're blaming a mentor or blaming your team or blaming your clients, right? I'm telling you now, my friend, the sooner you can take responsibility for every single growth opportunity, every single error, every single mistake, every single result in your business, right? Until you do that, you're going to struggle, right? This 100% will change your business when you take full ownership and responsibility, because that means you can make decisions and change things whenever and however you want. Mistake number three. So, of course, businesses, they go through cash flow lulls. And first of all, I just want to normalize that a little because it actually is very common for businesses to experience periods where they don't have a really healthy cash flow. Now, of course, you want to work to change that, but just know that you're not the only one. And there was a time in business where I was experiencing some cash flow woes. And I really, made the mistake to go out and try to secure sales by slashing my prices dramatically. Now, there's nothing wrong with having pricing strategies and, offering savings on your products. But when you're trying to do that because you've got cash flow issues, you may, like I did, find yourself slashing prices to the point that you're creating cash flow in the short term, but you're creating a problem in the long term because you are not properly pricing your products, which essentially means that while you might generate cash flow in the now and make decisions that mean you've got money to spend and give you the illusion that you're in a healthy place, the long term consequences of those decisions come back to bite you on the butt. Now, this can look like not properly, identifying the cost of your service and price slashing to the point that there's no profit, or it can be making deals where clients pay in full. You use all the money now for your cash flow woes, but then you realize months down the track, you've still got to deliver to this client. And so let me tell you now, when you're in cash flow struggle, it is never a good idea to really slash your prices. And if you do, you've got to make sure you're looking out for the future consequences, because this was something that has cost me greatly. And I've seen clients of ours experience this in their time as well, where they've made these decisions. It's created abundance in the moment, but that abundance has been like a false sense of security because long term abundance has been compromised. And what's most important in your business is your long term abundance. So if you're having cash flow struggles, look at other opportunities in your business, right? That mean that you're solving the problem now, but you're not compromising the future health of your business. Okay, we're at mistake number four, people. And this is one I see happen all the time. So listen up, because this was happened when I started my business, and I was so amazed at how much income I was generating, more than I ever had in my life. And I inadvertently got sucked into the whole narrative of entrepreneurial freedom, and I started making decisions that were really unsustainable in my business. Decisions like, buying too many costly dresses, going on a lot of expensive vacations, paying for business class flights. And essentially, what happened is my business couldn't sustain this luxe lifestyle, that it ended up draining my accounts and essentially meant that my business became a money making generator for my unsustainable lifestyle. And I know how crazy that sounds, but think about it, because it isn't just related to business owners, right? We see people living beyond their means all the time in everyday life. But when it comes to your business and the buck stops with you, right? The stress of making the next sale, of finding your clients, right? At that phase of your business is just not worth it. It is by far better to take a more conservative approach. Spend the time growing your business, spend the time building up a great pool of funds, so that your business has something to fall back on. And you'll find that those desires that you think you wanted at that time, like business class flights, dresses, expensive holidays, actually weren't what you wanted at all, right? What you actually wanted was financial freedom, right? And security in your business. So don't be allured by the Lux lifestyle too early on in your journey, and your business will be healthier and your bank account will thank you for it. Okay, my friends, number 5, and you might be seeing a little pattern here. It is all about me. Do you see how all of these mistakes that I've made in my business is somehow entwined with decisions that I've made and also entwined with the emotions behind those decisions? And that's what number 5 is all about. I have totally personalized my business. It took me such a long time to get to a point where I was not impacted emotionally by what was happening in my business. And so, for example, when very normal business situations would play out, like, say, a great prospect saying no or a launch not going as expected, instead of just moving on and acknowledging, learning, and then executing again, I would make it those errors or those lack of results a story about myself not being good enough. I'd make it a story about I'm a total failure, right? I'd make it personal. And by doing this, I essentially made myself feel like totally shitty, right? But it also meant that I would stop taking action and my emotions would overtake me for hours, sometimes days, and I hate to say it, sometimes even weeks. And it wasn't until I really let myself see this pattern and behavior in my business was I truly able to change it. But if you experience pretty extreme emotional reactions when very normal business situations happen, right? If you experience extreme reactions when, a launch doesn't go as planned or a social post that you put online doesn't have the audience attraction that you wanted it to, then you're definitely suffering from this as well. And the sooner that you can recognize it, the sooner that you can keep things neutral in your business, the better. I have a little saying now that I always repeat in my mind, it's data, not drama. And that's a little saying that you can repeat to yourself as well anytime you're feeling those extreme emotional responses to very normal business situations play out. Okay, my friends, lucky last, number 6. And this required a real mindset shift for me because I had gotten into this habit of just doing everything myself. Yes, I was one of those solo entrepreneurs who pretty much knows how to use every tool out there because there was absolutely no way that I was going to pay someone to do things for me because I viewed that as a cost. Little did I realize how screwed up that thinking was because I was using my time, actually the most expensive person in my company, to do menial daily tasks, right? But as soon as I flipped my mindset and really understood that actually it's more costly for me to do these tasks myself, costly because my time is more costly, and costly because it takes me 20 times longer to work something out than just having an expert do it, right? Was I able to really free myself for the growth and success that my company was ready for, right? When you have on all the hats in your business, it means you are the master of none. And so the sooner you can release day to day, run of the mill tasks, the better. And then as you become larger and have more cash flow in your business, continuing to release those things that are not in your zone of genius is going to allow you to grow and scale. And because I didn't do this early enough, it meant that, it not only cost me and my time and my energy, but it also cost us because we weren't able to grow as quickly as we could have. So there we have it, the 6 things I'm ashamed to tell you after being in business for 12 years. I hope you learned so much from this and will now avoid some of these mistakes as you grow your business. In the name of brilliant women supporting brilliant women, please like and share this content so that we get more incredible women finding out about these strategies and we can grow as a collective. Be sure to check out my other videos as well because they're full of strategic wisdom in helping you grow your business to 7 figures and beyond. Thanks so much for watching.